Hello and welcome to the Tuesday evening 7 p.m. Adventure Highway stream. My name is Blake Komar and I am the Dungeon Master for this evening. I'm excited to be Dungeon Mastering this game for you all. It's the Adventure Highway Sleuths in Limbo. It started off as Sleuths in Waterdeep and then things started to change a little bit. And I've been excited for how the change has been going. Um, these uh these players have really worked their best to get to where we're at today, and I'm really excited for how it has worked out. So, with no further ado, I'd like to introduce from the top left on, and maybe he can say something about himself. We have Nick. Nick, introduce yourself and your character.
Hey everybody, my name is Nick Norwood. I play Steve Froman, former deli manager of Waterdeep, and just kind of regular guy clinging on, trying to do his best in this adventure that we're on. So here we go.
Very nice. Next, to his right, we have Kyle. Introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Hi, my name is Kyle. My character is Brogan Naked Eye, former best PI of Waterdeep, turned former or now current best PI of the Chaos Realm because no one can investigate like me.
Very true. Um, and now we have, last but certainly not least, to what would be my right on the screen, I guess, Zari.
Hi, I'm Brittany Redkema. I play the Bowsmith Artificer Zari, who was a detective of Waterdeep and now just a detective of the Chaos Realm.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be something to solve here, especially since you all have found yourselves here not knowing exactly how or why. Um,
Because our investigation has not been going well thus far.
no, as a top sleuths, yeah, as top sleuths, things have not been going as well. But needless to say, it's been at least a fun adventure to find out what's going on, or at least to start figuring it out. Where we left off, or just to do a slight recap, we found ourselves in Waterdeep, trying to solve a crime, or at least get to the bottom of a crime, investigating a crime at a gym in which all of a sudden things started to change. Our group found that outside it was getting darker and darker, and it was the middle of the day. And as they went to investigate outside, they found that all of a sudden there was a giant tree branch, mile and a half long by a mile or so wide, falling from the sky at the city. And as they cleared the city walls and got far away, all of a sudden the Blackstaff Tower, the Mage's Tower, ended up sending the tree after saving the city, sending the tree branch into the hillside, which is where they happened to be. And after a wizard decided to try and save his own skin, he was able to save the party's life, but turned out to be, I guess it was a roast duck or a roast chicken. And so in saving his own skin, he had crispy skin. I would say, yeah, some seasoned crispy skin that was eaten by Steve, our fantastic candy man. You were given shelter by the Slod, a giant frog race who ended up scratching Steve and apparently impregnating him.
Pregnant
Space rape.
Steve, pregnant Steve.
By no accident of their own, although it was accidental for Steve. You were able to escape the Slod, finding that the scratch was an impregnation and that you had about 2 months before all of a sudden this thing flew out of your chest, mimicking another film, kind of like an alien. Um, After Brogan tried his best to stop someone else from dying from it, you were able
Didn't
during a
work out.
bombardment. You heard explosions outside. There was a bombardment of spelljammers coming down, and the Gith Zerai were bombarding with an aerial bombardment from an armada. They were firing force cannonballs down at the Slod there to save you all, in which you realized if you really wanted to, you could fly because you really wanted to. You were able to run through the air and find yourselves on these ships, in which once you reached the ships, all of the effects from the Chaos Realm had dissipated, and you realized they have their own, like, essentially a gravity well to the ship that also brings order to the area around it. You also
So
found
does
that,
that mean when as soon as Steve got on the ship, his belly expanded back out
oh,
and he got a
100%.
Stop.
little shorter? So I look
Stop.
over and all of a sudden
Hairline
Steve
was
is ugly
tweeted.
again.
Oh, yeah,
My hairline
completely.
went back to normal. My
Yeah,
horse stopped talking.
yep.
Yeah, Argyle goes back to just shitting on
The eye
stuff.
in the middle of your forehead went away. The
Oh,
monodrome that
jeez.
was right behind you all of a sudden disappears, and they ask you to take off your shoes and come onto the ship, in which everyone
Oh
takes
no.
off their shoes.
That means my
Other than
glass,
the slight
instead of
chance
being
we can
filled with
fix my
booze,
space
is filled with
pregnancy,
like
this
chlorine.
place is bullshit.
Oh, all the booze in my canteen is gone. Steve's fat again. Can we go back down?
Yeah. As you're
Argyle's
on this
dumb.
spell jam ship, you're now sailing towards the floating city, and you've met the this female Gith Zerai, who is the captain of the spell jamming ship, possibly the commander of this armada, uh, Kiwa, who puts her feet up on the desk, of course bare feet, quote unquote, because shoes off on the ship, and she has been talking with you all, say, as you had asked her about the idea of can we possibly end this pregnancy and maybe get back to the material plane. She says, I don't think we can do that for you because the ashen tree, the tree of life that binds everything together, that is the bridge between all realms, the branch between Limbo and the material plane has been broken off, which you kind of put two and two together as at least the bare minimum of your investigation skills, and are able to kind of tell that what landed on Waterdeep was the branch of the Ashen Tree in life, or a symbol of the Ashen Tree, which is the bridge between worlds and lands and planes of existence, for out of limbo to the material plane. And they say they're going to take you back to the city. And where we start now is on the spelljamming ship arriving at main port of call. As you look, there's an armada of 8 ships behind you, with this ninth ship as the Flying V moving in through. Um, all of you have your shoes off. Brogan, you had tried to spend some time with some of the monks that were down below in meditation, and they had kind of pushed you away at one point. You did realize, though, that they were focusing on keeping order on the ship, per se, so that chaos could not ensue.
Uh,
Um,
that, that that makes sense.
and she says to you all, well, if you look upon the horizon, it is our fantastic city we call. And she looks at you all and puts her arm out across the bridge like it's a grand gesture. The floating city. Um, and
Unique name.
Reality.
yeah, as you all literally just see a floating city in front of
Is the name of your
you.
ship the floating ship?
What was that?
Is the name of your ship the floating ship?
Yeah, she looks at you, not understanding what you why this is such a question, and
I look over to Argyle and I'm like, hey, and then I realize he can't talk and I'm real
yeah,
sad again.
he looks at you like any normal horse would. Like, what are you doing? Kind of an idea. Always judgy, because you know horses are always judgy. They always got that face. That's
He used to throw daps and now he just stares daggers. I'm so bummed.
yeah, 100%. This horse, like every other horse now, is just judging you for who you are. So
Oh, maybe
as
it's just lifting up his paw because he thinks you said paw.
yeah.
Sure.
As you see this floating city, you see that it's kind of like a V coming up of stalactites of like a meteor that's now floating through limbo, and you see purple and lightning around in the air, and it's almost like there's this perfectly peaceful floating city that kind of goes up on an angle, and it comes up from the bottom in a V. You see there's a flat surface. As you're in the distance coming in, and then you see it's almost like tiered up to the back, like a mountainside, but it's perfectly tiered, like cylindrically tiered, going up to a palace at the top. And if you look at the bottom as you get closer, it's like there's baths as you enter. And then you see there's almost like pillars, like Greek style pillars, coming up circular around with different hovels and houses and shops and buildings. And as you go up, you start to realize every building is built exactly the same. And as you get closer and closer, every house looks exactly the same, spaced perfectly. Everyone has the same vehicle in the driveway.
Are
Um,
they like is it like kind of space age looking, or like what do the houses look like?
we're talking a mix between picture. The best way to describe it is a Stepford meets Greek meets post-apocalyptic, which is a
Okay.
terrible description of anything. Uh,
It's not easy to envision, but yes.
yeah, no, like
Mad Max and Caesar's Palace. I'm with you. I'm with you. Let's go.
I'm gonna look over to Brogan and say, keep your eye out for a target. I need some space frog plan B.
You know what? I'll do my best, but I think after rest in peace, Bronco, I'll tap my chest. I think after poor Bronco died, though, I'm getting real good at actually holding these things back. I think
I
I
just
got you.
we'll call that plan B, and we'll see if we can find something here
Well,
that
if you're looking for
will
Plan C, I've never heard of that, but I'll help.
just Steve's a little skeptical of your medical skills, having seen your other skills.
You ate a mage, Master Deli Man.
I
Quote
did no. To
unquote.
be fair, I ate a leg. You ate the rest of the mage.
Yeah, he was delicious.
I don't want you putting the mage devouring all on me. He probably could have lived missing just a leg.
True, true. But it was good mage. That was one good. I
So
mean, let's be real.
it was delicious.
Um,
Are we docking up to this
as you're
city, or is
starting
it
to
like
dock up, you look in front of you and you see that there is a public baths. And you look and you see there are cookie cutter versions of what would be like Greek columned houses all around, surrounding this bath area, where you see it would be almost like columns with like what would be mud stucco, kind of very flat built around, but slightly, there's sticks coming out every now and then. They're not mud huts, but like picture columns that have these mud walls coming up, and they're all built the same way, same size, same yard, same driveway. Um, as you come up, and you see that there are a bunch of Gith Zerai as you're coming to dock. Past the dock is where there's the pools, and then you actually see wave pools. And she points over and she says, "Yeah, that's right. Those are we have pools. We have public pools. We also have an infinity pool over there if you'd like to get your laps in." And she points over, and you see kids playing and everything like that. And she says, "If you're looking to, terminate this pregnancy, but I will tell you, children are, they're one of the miracles of life. They are a gem. Children." She looks over and says, I haven't congratulated you, Steve, by the way. Congratulations."
I stare daggers back at her. Steve's got zero humor about this space pregnancy.
The unfortunate part is that you would probably kill it now if we get back to Waterdeep. The single
In
dad
time.
vibe, single dad vibe is huge.
But Waterdavian law says after 8 weeks. No, I'm kidding. um, after she disembarks onto the dock. She says, "But there is probably a cure for this. I don't have it. What I can do is grant you an audience with the master of our city, if you're
Okay.
interested."
What's his name or her name?
His name?
Its name?
His name? Uh, well, she looks and she says, again, I didn't vote for him, but he's a monk who is also a mage, he's a monk also. Um, he's Master Splinter. And as Zari starts laughing.
Oh, if I've got to be saved by a Ninja Turtle, dude.
Oh my god,
Save for a rat.
as
I'm
Yes,
going
a rat.
full in on this.
as
I
all of,
just,
she's kind of kicking at the ground, kind of as she says it. She's like, "Look, he panders to our simpler folk. He he's been running the city for about a year now. He hasn't run it into the ground yet, but he may know of a way to take care of this for you. I was told to come grab you by him and save you all from the slad, and possibly, maybe if one hand washes the other, you and Master Splinter can work this out. somehow to
Just to be
figure.
clear, I'm never touching anybody's hand ever again.
She looks
So
and
got me
she
into this mess.
nods and says, "Yes,
Well,
so
I mean,
I'll bring you up to to his palace. And as you look, you would see the palace on the horizon, not like a horizon, but like up this hillside. As you see this
Okay.
city, and it's not a large city, maybe a mile at max in depth and width. Um,
I lean
Floating.
over to Steve there and I go in a whisper, hand holding's a sin. That's why this happened to you, you sinner.
It's probably true. As we approach the docks, you see me start frantically putting together a ramp so that Argyle can get off this boat and onto the docks.
Very nice. And as you do, you start to put together a ramp. You see that they walk a gangplank out as you're building this thing. And
I'm
they
gonna
just
say
walk
to
it right
Arg,
by you. Yeah,
I'm gonna
it's
say like Argyle is like diligently watching me build this ramp, and I'm gonna look at him and say, "This is a lot easier when you could fly, dude."
he just looks at you judgingly like a horse would.
Yeah, that's fine.
Um,
I've given some thought to this. Have we thought about buying a bunch of hand sanitizer and just shoving it into your wound?
I mean,
Like, I kind of want to
no.
try. Like,
Might work.
you
have you thought about boiling
uh,
your hand?
yeah, that's true. You could just
Torch
boil
it
my
off.
hand.
do we
Yeah,
Yeah,
have a
cut it
knife
off.
where we can just try to find like the tadpole thing and scoop it out?
I mean, as you approach me with a scoop, I'm going to back away and say, "Let's go see what this guy has to say."
Steve, you're really not being any fun right now.
That's kind of, I feel like, my duty right now until I'm no longer alien space pregnant.
As you're walking through the city following Keela, she says, make sure you put your shoes, make sure everyone sees where your shoes are. Do not put them on your feet. Just walk through the city barefoot. Understood?
Can I ask the question? Because the frogs were all about the hands and you people are all about the feet. Like, what is going on?
You're going to disrespect our
Well,
customs?
No, I'm
don't take
asking
it
you
to
why the
someone.
custom exists.
Well, generations of generations.
I
My,
understand, but at some point there was like a precursor, an event, something that told you that shoes were bad. Would you explain that to me?
no, not at all. I mean, you can wear your shoes when you're outside of outside of our presence. Or when we're out, like for instance, you see her belt. She has a pair of shoes hanging from it.
Yeah.
Um, she's like, you. I mean, if you're out and you're, you're on the rocks running or something like that, you can definitely put them on. Just within our city walls, it's kind of a sign of respect to make sure
Is this
your
is
feet
this
are
like a
exposed.
decree of Master Splinter? Like, is he super into feet? Is that something we need to know?
It has been passed down. I don't know if he's super into feet. We do have a thing. I mean, as she blushes, um, you're starting to pick up on the idea that that there might be a little more to it for her about
I
feet than.
really, I really hope this isn't a scaly city because as a dragonborn, I'm just rolling around scaly with no shoes because I'm a monk anyway. So I'm like, I never wear shoes. Oh, geez. And I'm like, I look at my talons.
And you're finding like the
Steve just has Steve just has unkempt dad feet and like a pair of New Balances now hanging off his waist.
Don't mind
Zari,
my
you have your
balding.
like 50 buckle boots hanging off your waist.
I feel like they would be over her shoulder, just laces tied together because of how big they are.
And she looks at you all blushingly and says, well, I don't know what you do where you are, but around here, you take your shoes off. And as you look around, you're seeing that most people don't have shoes on. They're all walking around in bare
Most
feet.
people? Are there people with shoes on?
There are some people with shoes on.
I'm gonna point at them and ask her what's up with those people. How come they
Oh,
have shoes?
well, they have no respect for tradition.
Oh, okay. Whose tradition?
The Gith Zerai.
All of you, except for the ones that don't believe in
It's
it.
just history that has
Okay.
passed down the generation. Is when you come on
I'm
in, you
just
take your shoes off. It's a sign of respect.
I'm just questioning the philosophy as we're walking to
Yeah,
Master Splinter
for
so that
sure.
I get
And
my Ninja Turtle on.
she's like, it's just a sign of respect. It's like when you shake hands, showing you have no weapon in your right hand. You take your shoes off
I
to
That
show.
came out wrong last time, so we might.
Argyle, if you can still talk, nay twice.
And he just stares at you
And then
judgingly.
And then I'll just look at Argyle like, he's gonna do it. Damn it.
So if someone loses their foot, most prosthetics have a shoe on it. You going to be mad at them for wearing a shoe because of that?
Look, hey, I don't make the rules. Talk to Master Splinter.
That's just
I mean,
please,
they
rude.
don't
please,
have
please
to.
get us to Master Splinter post haste.
You don't
Yeah.
have to take off your shoes. I just keep, I ask because it's our custom. And as you're walking, she's telling you a story about how 1,000 years ago the Gith Zerai and the Gith Yankee were cousins that all had escaped the Illithid, the Mind Flayers, and had found themselves free and sailing in an armada through the astral seas. And then one day, because you had pushed the issue about the shoes, a Gith Yankee decided to go into a Gith Zerai's house after asking to take the shoes off, and it never came off. And hence started a rift between the Gith Yankee and the Gith Zerai, where the Gith Zerai now live in Limbo and the Gith Yankee now sail through the astral sea.
So a petty got it.
So when you enter a home, you take your shoes off. When you enter our city, or you take your shoes off. When you enter our boat, you take your shoes off. And you're now
Are you guys
entering.
the Union in this? Or are you the other guys?
Uh, we're the good guys. She turns her head to the side.
It's not how petty the shoe thing is. Maybe not.
Petty?
It's
You
petty.
call this petty? Well, you talk to Master Splinter and tell him it's petty. And
Oh, she was talking about mani petties. I mean, there's no reason to get upset.
well, yeah. I mean, if you're talking about okay, I mean, good foot health is number one for mental health. If you have good foot health, you'll have good mental health.
Can I roll an investigation on that?
Yeah, go for it.
I think I might.
Yeah, that or an insight, either one.
I will too.
Investigation of 20. You can tell that's firm BS, but people spout out more BS than
Sure.
yeah. People spout out more BS on just a normal day. And an 8, you might believe it, Zari. Like you're like, all right, if I keep my feet, I keep my brain. Like
Zari is sold on foot hygiene.
yeah. She's like, there's a correlation between what you do on top, you do on the bottom. So as you're entering this palace, you see waterfalls in front of you. You see statues of Gith Zerai with like water spouting out of their mouth into pools around this place. And it seems like order has been kept in this fantastical place that got more and more beautiful the further up the hill you went while having this conversation. And as you enter what would be this master chamber for Master Splinter, it's a large chamber with like Greek style columns. As you see a Gith Zerai in a robe, where he's still wearing his robe, has somewhat of a pot belly, as he is now laying in what would be an infinity pool. That he's in the back of it as the waves are coming up against him, and he is just laying there with his head back. And looks at you all with this silken, like black and polka dotted robe and says, "Hello, hello, welcome from the material plane. Take your shoes off. Come on in."
Bend off. We were told you can't walk with shoes in the city, which is really weird.
You're so smart and considerate. Thank you.
I guess Brogan's just gonna keep looking down at his talons that never wear shoes, and it's just like really weirded out that people keep looking at his feet. Because as we were walking up, there was like 3 people that kept looking at his feet because they're all scaly and weird. And
I'm telling Argyle to play it cool.
And Argyle just looks at you, looks around like a horse. As he says, "Come on into the infinity pool. Have you ever been in one of these?"
I'm not getting in your pool, but I appreciate you asking.
It's comfortable. You can swim in 2 different directions. You can swim in the other direction, and you never move.
Considering what happened to me when I hand shook somebody from this plane, I'm not getting into a pool.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
Brogan's gonna look at it and be like, "Does it have jets? Is it?"
Yeah, it has jets on the far side. So when you get in you get in on the side you're standing on, and he's on the far side of it. He's like, "Watch, it'll push you all the way down to me." And he holds his arms out, and he's like, "I'll catch you."
Wow. Man, I was
That's
really
not
hoping,
something you hear very often. Someone you met him 30 seconds ago is now offering to catch you.
I was more hoping for a jacuzzi type of setup, but yeah, I don't know. You're shoeless in there too, right? The whole hand to hand thing didn't go so well. I don't really want to bump feet.
You see, he leans back, arms on the railing, on the ledge, kind of a thing, with his head back, and you see his 2 feet kick right up. But you don't see, again, you see his pot belly. He's above. He's kind of balding in the center, coming back. He has like a bald spot. He has like a horseshoe kind of hair line.
He looks like Steve.
Yeah, Steve, he's got your haircut. Look,
yeah.
Perfect.
And
same belly too. You guys are buddies.
you don't see pants though. He is wearing a robe, but you don't see pants.
Oh,
Yeah,
great.
respectfully, with my scales, I don't want to shed in there, so I will wait. Appreciate it, buddy.
Hey, I understand. If you guys want, maybe you can soak your feet. It's really warm. Anyway, um, you're here. You're
I
in
look
from the
over to
material
Zari.
plane. That's
I look over
fantastic.
to Zari, and I'm like, Zari, he's not wearing pants. He's not following the house rule. I'm very confused. They said this was a house. We have the no shoes thing, and there's no pants. And I think I've seen a floaty. I am so not loving this, and all my booze is gone. And Brogan starts spiraling a little bit.
I pull out my alchemy jug and go beer and just hand it a beer to him.
Oh God,
4 gallons.
Yeah.
um, as he
I'm
says,
going to
well,
ask him if he can do anything about this, and I'm going to hold up my hand with the clear space frog pregnancy mark on
he
it.
looks over and he says, not a damn thing, but congratulations. Children really are the future.
Do you know anybody that can help with this?
No. But I think I might know where you can find someone who will. It's gonna be a stretch, but it seems in the next 2 months you're gonna stretch. So we can work this out. I think we're on the right path. If
Argyle's going to hop into the pool.
well, he's like a regular horse at this point, so you're gonna have to
Yeah.
lead him in.
I will. I'll push him into the pool.
As you
Make it
push
seem
this
like a
horse into
character.
the pool, he's like, and you see Master Splinter going, oh. And he holds his arms out but turns his head away like he's going to catch the horse, but turns his head to not get hurt, kind of a thing. But the horse stays in one place, of course, and I bet you Argyle's pissed, but he's not saying anything.
No, he's not.
Lean over to Steve and go, "You ever take off shoes?"
The horseshoes? Yeah. No, we took them off.
Okay. Remember.
So he says, someone else from the material plane has come by here. And we were just happy to have them. To be honest, it's a whole new experience. That's why we came and got you. Actually, is they showed up about a month ago. Time
was
works
it?
funny here.
Who is it?
And as you see, what would be crawling out from the back room is a rat who looks over at Brogan and says, "Oh my gosh, Brogan, so good to see you again. Naked Eye, so happy to see you. I would
It's the assassination rats.
And he looks over and he goes, "Who's this guy? Did he just throw that horse in the pool? I'd slap him, but I think slapping that big fat guy would be animal abuse."
Yeah. Go little rat bros.
I'm gonna go over to Zari and ask if I can have a little bit of that powder.
You are still holding the drugs.
You are still holding the drugs.
I know.
Do you give it to him?
I don't even know. We're making it home. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna take it.
We might not make it home. It's fine.
I'm gonna ask the rat how long he's been here.
I've been here, been waking up in the morning and going to bed for about a month now. I mean, morning and day and night don't really have a say here. It's just when I get tired, I go to sleep. When when I wake up, I wake up.
And
that's
how did you
what I've
end
been
up
doing.
here?
But I've been stuck here. I think it's been about a month, and I know there was more people because when the rats left the city, we all got out before you did. We saw that thing coming, and then I was actually inside of a cart. And I think you guys were outside the cart too, because it smelled like shit. So I knew you guys. It might have been you guys. But anyway, so all of a sudden everything exploded. I ended up here, and time's been wonky since then.
I get it. Okay.
Little rat friend, do you by chance have any of the seeing stones on you? Because I know you guys love to watch our show.
No seeing stones right now. Do you see
I
any
have a
seeing
broken
stones?
one.
Why would I ask you? I go to chug a bunch more of that beer. I'm so upset.
And she says, as you're drinking it, you hear him say, "It's all right, Brogan Naked Eye. You'll never be the man your mother was." And he goes to walk and jump into the infinity pool.
Like
As
a
he
drowned
says that,
rat.
as he
Yeah,
says that, I try to dart him. I try to hit him with a dart.
go for it. Roll a dart.
Oh, that's gonna hit.
As that hits, tell me how you kill the character assassination rat.
He goes, "You'll never be the man your mother was," and I'm like, "You don't even know your mother. There's 1,000 of you ugly turds." And I just kind of flick it at him.
As you flick it at him, literally, it's you see his eyes go wide as it lands right between his eyes, and now there is a dead character assassination rat just floating in the infinity pool with Master
Floating in the
Splinter.
pool.
You're
Sweet.
Yeah,
making a great first
We've made a
impression.
great impression. We've put a horse and a dead rat in this pool now.
well, the rat was going in of his own accord. We're not on TV anymore. I don't have to pretend to be a nice person.
So there's no magical properties at all here, correct?
And he says, "Nope, not unless you have them normally. Not unless you would normally have these magical properties.
Oh, okay.
Like you can do
So
your own
what did you
magic,
want?
and summoning and bringing things into this world won't be chaotic for you. But that's because we have a team of the most fantastic wizards working on it at the moment, keeping things normal."
Well, I didn't think you were responsible for it. What did you want to see us for?
Oh, well, I was told that some of you could that you would be here, and I needed someone kind of a third party to do a job. And it
What
would
job?
seem that if you're scratched and you might need some help, I think I may know someone who could help, or at least something that can help, or at least some area where you can find said help.
Now, I'm gonna need it to be a little less vague than that before I agree to anything.
Well,
Is it
oh,
a person, place, or thing? Because we haven't even established that yet.
I don't think the reverse condom will help after he's pregnant, but I mean, the idea is
you
nice.
can't put the condom on after he gets pregnant.
Oh,
So
that's what I did wrong.
as he says, as you say, is it a person, place, or a thing? He goes, yes.
Which
I'm
one?
gonna stare at him. I'm gonna stare at him awkwardly because he seems like the type that if you stare at him awkwardly, he will just be more forthcoming with information.
Oh,
I look
100%. Give an intimidation with your stare.
I look
Sure.
over at Zari while he's doing this, and I'm like, "This is called the dad stare. It's when you look at your kids when they're screwing up." And
Oh,
just
it's
wait
the
for them to
worst
be
dad
better.
stare ever. It's like a Bob Saget on a Full House dad
Oh my
stare.
god, do you fart in the middle of the stare? That would be amazing.
Just, I rolled a
Yes.
4. What? I'm the least. I can't intimidate people.
You try, like the way I'm envisioning it personally, I could be wrong. You are staring the hardest daggers you can, pushing everything you have through your eyes in focus, and then that's when you squeak out a fart. Like
Sure, yeah,
it's
that
it's a
makes sense.
hard push. As all of a sudden he just looks at you and says, "So we can possibly get you to the realm of Yizgard, where in Yizgard there are some gods that roam freely who possibly could help you. There's probably about 10 or 11 of them gods that can help you. There's no gods here.
10 or
Yizgard
11.
is the land of chaos, and it's like a good land of chaos. Give a religion check to see what you would know about Yizgard.
Oh, sweet. One of those
I
usual
I
monks.
have not heard of it. If this was the Jeopardy final answer, I would not get it.
You would have no idea.
At least I'm trained.
Very nice, Zari. Zari knows what it is, and you'd be able to explain it to the party if you wanted to. Yizgard is the realm, Zari, of it's almost like it is the Viking Valhalla. It is the land where might is right and the winner.
Oh, damn.
The whole pantheon of if we were to look at it meta-wise, the pantheon of Nordic gods are there, running Yizgard. The Ashen Tree of Life is the tree that it starts there. It roots down to Hades, and like so the ground where it branches off from is in Yizgard, and it roots down to Hades and branches to all of the other planes, including the material plane. And he says, in Yizgard, I can get you there. And you would need to find a god who would be able to remove this from you, because this is not like a disease or a curse. Well, this is a disease, but we don't have anyone who could cure this disease. It's really one of those things like we would have to kill you to kill it, but then if we revived you, it would revive it. So it's gonna kind of have to be, it's a part of you now. So I would have to get you there, and you would be able to have to travel through Yizgard to find your way to getting yourself, to getting this together. I can point you in a few directions, but that's if you're able to do something for us, which will get you to Yizgard.
We're listening.
And as you say, we're listening, he stares at you and says, well, you know how we launched that Armada bombardment over at the Slod that had captured you? Well, it seems while you were in that palace, there's one last palace. Now, we're not the enemy of the monodrone, but whatsoever. We don't mind the monodrone. The monodrone, years ago, came into the chaos and started developing levels of order. Heck, they actually sent over a creation stone, which ended up creating the Slod. It was a byproduct. They didn't mean to. They just the leader of Mechanist decided that we needed order in this chaos. That this chaos was offensive to him or it. So he had built up all of these monodrone and duodrone and tridrone and quadrone temples around this place, which is where you were staying, in one of those lost ancient temples. But there is one that is still up and running and working, where they are still producing monodrones. And to power said temple, they are using the Stone of Creation. It is the one piece of natural order in all of this land. Now, we can use it as a focus to send you to Yizgard. The problem is, we don't want to end up on the bad side of the monodrones. But if we have a third party go in, grab it, bring it back to us, well, we're not on the bad side of the monodrones, because in the natural order of things, we never did anything. It was y'all who did something from the prime material plane, not the Githzerai.
That works on any level. That is not how that works. You basically are hiring us to steal something for you.
Well, hold on there. I'm not hiring you to do anything. I'm saying, hey, this is over here. If I had it, I can help you.
Right.
I mean, that sounds great. I just don't want to be space pregnant anymore.
I kind of like put my arms over the rest of the party in like a little huddle thing, and I'm like,
Team huddle.
So team huddle, this is exactly what hiring somebody is. I don't necessarily believe if he even knows where this thing is, but I'm even less confident he can get us anywhere. However, I would be super excited to leave the city of everyone is horny for feet. Super ready to leave horny feet the city.
As we're discussing, I like to picture like Argyle's head just comes into the middle of the huddle too.
Like he got out because the dead rat was floating at him, and he's like, "Yeah, no, I'm not having this."
He's gonna be part of Team Huddle. I'm gonna say I don't really care what we have to steal. Honestly, I want to get away from feet people, weird rat guy, and this whole plane. and I'd like to not be space pregnant anymore.
I'm kind of liking space pregnant, but okay, I can get on board because I agree with
It's
the rest
just
of
I
it.
don't want this baby, and it's my body.
Yep.
I
And
know.
he says, "So, are you guys interested in helping us out?"
Interested? Absolutely not, but we'll probably do it. Yeah.
Well, fantastic.
Options were limited.
We will have a meal for you, and if you would like, you can sleep here tonight. Just make sure if you enter your house, you take your shoes off.
Can't even put our shoes on in the city. I don't even understand this thing.
You can totally wear them while running, just not in the city, which is the only place where anybody lives.
Steve's really considering putting his shoes on. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, he's looking at you, finger in the air. Don't do it. No,
These
don't do it.
New Balances are too fresh not to wear. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna wiggle my claws at him and then be like, okay, give us a nice house.
Oh God! You're gonna start an Only Feet page.
That's
Look,
awesome.
first of all, it's gonna be amazing, and it's an OT page. It's only talents.
Only Talents.
Yeah, Scales Hub.
Scales.
You scales? Ooh, I'm a fan.
Yeah. As you are led to a house, you look in, and as you're led to a house by Kiwa, the horse is soaking wet, is walking behind you all. Kiwa says, "Enjoy your house. In the morning, I'll have directions for you on how to get out of this city. Well, I guess you wouldn't know that you're tired now, but you've been here for about 10 hours. You've been here for about, you wouldn't know it though, because time doesn't really pass the same way for you, I guess. You're gonna need to sleep, and once you do, uh, when you wake, I'll have directions for you, and we'll get you set on the right path to the mechanic. The what is it? The mechanist. What the Palace of Mechanus? It's called.
Okay.
And
Neat.
she closes the door behind you, and it's basically a 3 room house that has a 3 room house that has pillars in the center of it, with a little kitchenette, and it's pretty like I'm trying to think of like again like Greek meets Stepford meets like kind of post-apocalyptic. Like there is like hovel to there is mud aspects to it, but it's pretty cookie cutter. Like there's a couch, there's a coffee table, there's a kitchenette, like there's 3 bedrooms. It's set
I
up for you guys in
immediately
that
put on
respect.
my shoes.
You put on your shoes.
Yeah.
All right, up to you. There's no one around right now, so you are fine, and you're in this house, and it's ready to go to sleep. Anything you guys get up to?
Yeah, the first thing I do is I look around the house for anything that's watching us because I still feel super creeped out by everyone was staring at my feet.
Give me an investigation.
That's upsetting. Ah, that's okay.
A 16, not bad. And a 10. Steve, you're
There's
not finding anything.
shoe sensors in all the floors.
Yeah, you're not finding anything, Steve. Brogan, you do find that there is a sending stone, in a like it's in the base of a torch at the end of your bedroom. And it is kind of facing towards your bed, specifically where your feet would be.
I take it off and I put it in a drawer.
Can I have it, please?
Sure, anyone can have it except for me, and I will hand the stone to Steve. After I do that, I'm immediately going to put Argyle in whatever room he wanders into and say, Steve, that's your room. As I hand him the stone, I then pick the only room that doesn't have bunk beds and I fall asleep.
I'm going
Fantastic.
to affix the sending stone to the portion of Argyle's tail so that it will be like facing directly at his butthole all night long.
So that
And
as they're going for their nighttime.
then I'm gonna scratch him. So when they try to look in, they're just gonna get a bunch of horse butthole winking.
Zari, your investigation also finds at the end of your room where there is a candle at the end. There is a stone at the base you find is a sending stone, and it is pointing at your bed towards the region where your feet would be.
I grab the sending stone and I go into the kitchen. What do I find in the kitchen?
As you're looking around the kitchen, it's been pretty stocked up with there's like a boar shoulder kind of a thing in there. There's a couple of ears of corn. There is a chicken in there that has already been roasted and just needs reheating over a fire. Um, and that's it. The kitchen does have a kitchen table, and it has some kind of like magical ice block where this food is kept in like a box or a magical refrigerator.
If there was a freezer, I should shove it in the freezer, to be honest.
Toss it in the
Shove it in
freezer.
the freezer. Yeah,
Very nice.
just shove it in the freezer.
So anytime you open up to get food, it's just going to show you opening up and then closing. And it seems like they've been watching you or are going to be trying to watch you. And the only one who is going to be getting watched is Steve in the night.
Steve's fine with that. He's good.
He don't know. And
He's gonna live cast his feet and a horse butthole from this room tonight.
as you all go to sleep, give me a Constitution saving throw. Zari, very nice. Steve, meh. Very nice, Brogan.
Oh God, you guys are Constitution masters.
Zari and Brogan had an 18 and a 17 respectively, and Steve rolled a 10, in which, Steve, you go to sleep, and during your night's sleep, you are just seeing visions as it's almost like you're seeing what monks are focusing on, or feeling like you possibly are experiencing what's going on in making this psychic power and keeping the chaos out. And it's literally a focus of just different races' feet.
I'm gonna wake up really into feet, aren't I?
Yeah.
That's gonna happen.
Oh no. You're gonna try to subscribe to my only talons. No.
Yeah. You see like talons
awkward. I
wiggling
know
in
you
one
in
of
real
them.
life.
Yeah. As apparently these Githzerai have something for feet, apparently.
Sure.
As you wake in the morning, everyone is well rested. And would you guys be cooking breakfast upon just waking?
So I'm gonna get up and like kind of act natural, and then I'm gonna awkwardly ask Zari if that was a long walk over here. Do you feel like you need like a foot rub or something?
Oh.
And as soon as she says no, I'm gonna look over and hesitate when I look at Brogan naked eye. I'm gonna say, "How about you, big guy?"
If you're watching, I make this face. If you're not watching, it's that awkward frown thing where your
both
bottom lip
disgusted and
up into your
disappointed.
nose, so you can't see anything else. And then I'm gonna walk over to whatever they have that makes coffee, pour some alcohol in it, stir it, and be like, "Everyone here is the worst. I don't understand what." And then I'm gonna go take the seeing stone as I'm sipping the coffee, take it off Argyle's tail so they're not looking at whispering Argyle eye. And then when I'm done with that, I'm gonna basically take it and I'm gonna stick it on top of my quarterstaff pimp cane. So now I have the seeing eye stone with us when we go places. So I'm gonna do something really weird when we get to that temple.
I'm just glancing at everybody's feet all morning and trying not to get caught.
Which is perfect.
Zari has on steel-toed boots right now.
As you're wearing steel-toed boots, you hear a knock on the door as you're eating, and you've now got a sending stone on your pimp cane, and it's a knock, 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 and you hear Kiwa yelling, "Hey, take your shoes off and come on out, guys."
I literally don't wear shoes. I'm probably the one that walked over to the door because I imagine Steve kept pimp looking at the feet of Zari, and then
Zari's boots.
Yeah.
I'm undressing her feet with
50 buckles. You're undoing 50 buckles in your mind.
Every time she talks, I like snap out of it and look her in the eye.
I love how lacy your shoes are. Oh my god.
Sorry,
So
tell him
not.
my eyes are up here. Like
When you wear boots like that, you do this to yourself, Zari, okay?
Oh my
50
God. I take a long haul with my coffee and I'm like, Argyle, come here. We're leaving.
As she says, Kiwa says, "Well, good morning, all." And it seems that some of you are not wearing shoes, which is nice, as requested. Uh, she says, "Well, if you would look over, we've moved the city floating towards the palace." And as you look over, you're kind of on the upper echelons. Like you're not necessarily at the top, but you're able to see kind of to the left of the house, past one of the pillars that you're at. You can see floating towards you is a giant landmass coming down from the sky slightly, and or you're moving upwards toward it. It's one of the two. You can't really tell because there's no way to gauge distance and time in this area. Um, and as you look out the door and look up, and they say that up there is where the temple of Mechanus, the Mechanus temple, is going to be, and that's where they've got the stone of creation.
I elbow Steve while she's talking kind of quietly, and I'm like, Steve, look at her
Yo.
feet.
Man,
Look at her feet.
I
Man.
already was, for being honest.
Do you like them?
No, they're not bad, right?
My gosh.
Anyway, Steve is wistfully still staring at the feet. He can't help himself.
As she says to you all, so if you're going to be heading up there, it's kind of going to be a leap of faith you're going to need to make. So we're going to need you to go out about 150 yards, 200 yards outside the city limits, kind of. And you're going to kind of have to walk off the edge until you're flying, if you would like. And then it would take you right. You just essentially walk through the air, through the chaos, up to the Temple of Mechanus.
So would this not have been an issue if I let you guys try to do an only feat for us, or what's the? Would you have got us closer? What's the deal with
She
this?
says, "Wait a minute, you're on OnlyFeet? What's your handle?"
They call me Cali Boy.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have been that forward. I'm really sorry. Uh,
I'm like, I have a free site too. It's not as much fun, but it's fine. You'll see the advertisements. Make the decision for yourself.
well, I'll have to get your digits. And
I was really hoping that was a metaphor. Okay.
it was a pun. She looks over and says, "All right, now I'll walk with you over to the ledge, but after the ledge, that's where all of the order ends and the chaos begins."
It's fun. I'm putting on my shoes for this.
Yeah, I'm also going to put my shoes on for this.
That's a shame, but I can't stop you, I guess.
I still don't wear shoes, so.
And she winks at you.
Oh God! And she winks at.
Make him. You need to make him pass a Constitution save to see if
make a
he's
con,
into
see
it.
how it goes. 18, you keep your lunch or your breakfast. So
as she winks at me, I'm gonna just take my pimp hat with my pimp coat and kind of straighten it out. Like, yep, this is how we do it. You can't know how the bottom barrel works if you've never been there.
And she knows, or at least she knows now that you are very unique. Is I guess the term. And
I'm going to ask her how much she knows about the Chaos Realm. Is she pretty familiar?
Yeah, I've born and raised here all my life.
So, if anything that we affected in the Chaos world, if we go back, is it going to come back?
It will not come back, but you'll be able to maintain it all the way up until the point you hit order again.
Okay. I'm going to grab the horse and we're going to jump off this ledge.
Okay. As you go to jump off this ledge, give me a strength.
I can give you a strength. That is something I can do.
Give me an athletics or a strength. Strength, we'll go with your 21. So, is your athletics any better than your strength?
No, it's the same.
Same? Awesome. So a 21. Yep. You go to jump off, and as you jump off, literally, you're ready to fall because you're ready to fall, pretty much, right? Um,
Yeah.
so you're now outside in the chaos realm as you are ready to fall. Mentally, you're starting to fall, but now you're hanging on to the reins of a horse that does not want to fall right now. That is looking down off of over a cliff, essentially, at nothingness, at chaos, and is saying, "I'm not budging." As
Am I
you're now
strong
just
enough to yank the horse?
you're holding on to it right now. Think of it this way: could you pull a horse if it didn't want to move?
I mean, I'm a big fat
That
white
is
guy.
true. That is true. With your 21, yeah, you start to slide him off the ledge, and you see it is a tug of war kind of thing. There's an abrupt stop a second, and then give me a quick intelligence.
Oh, that's not going to be good.
In order to
hoping for
help
one.
get the horse off the ledge, I'm going to command AAA to bite the horse in the butt.
Good thing. So you're only able to affect 7 feet around you. All of a sudden, you start to realize that you can stand and you in midair and are able as now that he's getting nipped in the butt by AAA, he does move forward and the horse is now
Okay.
in midair, just
Excellent.
walking, kind of trotting in midair and not
As
moving
soon,
really.
like the minute he's back into this plane, I'm going to wish for him to talk again.
And give me a D100.
I will, because it's worth it, and you all know it is. I don't want
Nobody disagreed with you.
to. No, it
We
is.
only have it for 5 minutes, but
Did you take
17.
No one's trying to convince you, honest. And you wild magic. It is a 17. So,
decide.
give me a Constitution saving throw.
I will. I'd happily do that.
Well, you're 0 for
13.
4 on this.
I was saying I'm 0 for 17 tonight. Something's going to hit eventually.
As as you wish for him to talk, the first things that come out of his mouth in a very Sean Connery-esque voice are, hold on. Steve, it looks like you have a beard made of feathers.
That's possible. Yes.
And as you reach to where your beard would be, or a beard, you realize you have feathers coming down from the sides of from your sideburns down all the way through your beard and through
To
your
be very
mustache.
clear, he's got like the
The
handlebars.
handlebar is all
Yeah,
feathers, but the
it's
handlebar is
all
now
feathers.
very long with like black feathers, and you've got like white
Perfect.
feather beard.
They call me Featherbeard, Space Pirate, and I'm going to get on this horse.
And as you
I'm
get
going
on
to
the horse,
beckon my friends forward.
I
he
look over at
goes,
Zarya and I'm like, I guess we're back to it.
and each of you give me an intelligence saving throw.
I should have done that.
And as they're going to step off this ledge, oh, Zari. Zari, you can only control within 5 feet of you. I know it rolled a 6, but you rolled a 1. So you only got 5 feet around you. And Brogan, you have 11 feet around you. And as you guys are going to step off this ledge, Zari, you're going to have to hold your dog, kind of a thing, as you're moving through. Because if it moves 5 feet away from you, unless you want to make a wish, like unless you want you want to will
I
it into
want AAA
existence.
to talk again and
Okay,
confirm
so
something.
give me a D100 because as you're now willing him to talk into existence, you hear from the horse, you know, Steve, throwing me in the pool was a really jerk off thing to do.
Here, I've got a treat for you, and I feel bad. So here, take some of this, and I'm going to put some of the powder in front of his mouth.
As you put the powder in front of his mouth, he says, so now you want to give me drugs.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's what the Chaos Realm is about. It's
He
like Burning Man, but on another plane.
he
I need you to
does.
get. I need
Now,
you to get with this.
you did take some of them. So your strength is going to go up by 2, Steve, for the next hour.
I took some. When did I take
Well,
some?
I thought when you got them from Zari.
No, absolutely not. I was
Oh,
going to
was
give
that
him to the
Brogan?
rat and see if I can get him to overdose,
The
but
only
I never
drug
got
user
there.
in this party is Brogan.
There you go.
And Argyle.
That's true.
Yeah, well,
Now Argyle.
Brogan.
Argyle's going to have a +2 to his strength, but a -2 to his intelligence, which is going to play
So
out weirdly.
it's going to be excellent. It's
He's going
a
to be a little
stupid
bit
Sean
less
Connery.
sassy about it. And Zari, as you look over, you hear in a Sylvester Stallone voice from fucking this dog.
Yeah.
Hey, oh shit, how do I do this? Oh, sorry. You got an eye in your forehead.
That's about right.
Yeah.
I love this. If everyone's gonna make a wish, I'm gonna make one too. Mine's not for something to talk. I just want to sprout actual dragon wings.
Very
Oh, yeah.
nice. And give me a D100 as
Roll a
your back
1 so that
starts to
Zari's boots
grow out.
disappear.
I cry to myself a little bit, and I'm like, "Stupid rat! I'll show you I can be the man my mother was."
Just living in your head rent free for the last 24 hours.
Damn character assassination rats can't go anywhere without them showing up.
Show up every time.
A 55 on the wild magic table puts us at the place of all of a sudden, does your character have hair?
No, I'm a dragonborn. I'm a scaly boy.
So nothing happens. Your hair, it would have been your hair falls out and grows back within 24 hours, but no hair. So you're fine.
Sweet. So I
Yeah.
have big, powerful dragon wings. Yes.
Well, they're about 5 feet on each side of you, dragon wings. Not big,
Yeah,
big.
that's big. That's big and powerful, man. I'm only
There you go.
6.5 feet tall. That's awesome.
Yeah, because you only have you can only control 11 feet around you. So
That's perfect.
yeah, so that fits within that realm. And as you all come off of the side, you are now able to will yourself to walk. Is Zari doing the same disproportionate running thing where you're running as fast as you can in midair, but only doing a slow pace?
Pretty much, yeah.
Very
So
nice.
sorry.
And Steve, you're on Argyle the horse, and Brogan,
Yes.
what do you get up to?
I am just going to float where I'm as tall as Steve and Argyle together, so just a little above them. And as I do, I'm gonna take the seeing eye stone, and I'm gonna use my prehensile tail to just have it look directly at Steve. 'Cause he was the pro from last night. We are gonna continue this trend.
Very nice. So you now have a sending stone fixed on him.
Yes.
Very
It's just
nice.
looking at Steve.
As Steve, do you change back into like doing your belly and everything like that, or
Are you sexy, Steve?
Obviously.
you will? Give me a D100 as you are willing your body to physically change in this world.
Watch. On this one, he rolls 100, and he's straight looking like Arnold.
Yeah, for real. A
Like old school
62.
Arnold.
So for the next minute, you can only shout when you speak, Steve.
Okay. I feel like that's Steve most of the time anyway, but oh whoops. I didn't mean to hit that button. That was a no.
All good. So as your body changes over, you hear from Argyle say, wow, Steve, it seems like you weigh a little bit less.
And what exactly do I look like now?
What did you want to look like?
So before I was Ryan Reynolds, but if Kyle was wishing me to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll go with that. I get like
Now you
I'm
look like
talking
Arnold, and he's like
like
even still
peak
says to you,
Conan Arnold Schwarzenegger is what I'm
love
looking
it.
for.
As he looks to
Like
you,
I don't even sweat. It's just baby oil constantly coming
he's
out
just
of my
dripping
pores.
baby oil. You're greased
See,
head to
that's why
toe.
I knew he was the seeing stone person. I'm
Yeah.
setting this up for him.
There's no wind, but your hair is blowing in it.
It's just long golden locks just
You mean
blowing
his
in
feather
no wind.
mustache is blowing in it?
Yup, your feather beard and mustache blowing back as you're smiling. Your Arnold look, and it is beautiful to see. And he
Steve
says,
strips down to his underwear to get the full like Conan look.
"Oh yeah,
like,
but
while
you're
I'm on
wearing
this
like
horse.
BVDs, kind of a tighty whities."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I
the
was
tidy
hoping for
whities.
Dad's tidy whities.
yeah,
Yeah.
dad
no,
tidy
for sure.
whities. Like,
And they're officially like 3 sizes too small for this Arnold frame, so they are tidy whities.
yeah, love it.
All right, everyone's scarred. I got the seeing stone trained on him.
Yeah.
This is perfect revenge. Let's get going.
Yeah, even in the Githzerai camp, they're blurring over certain spots on the sending stone. Like you see, they're actively like people are. If you were to be back in their camp, they'd be looking into a stone, just blurring with their hand, like putting it over places.
So
Except for the
Argyle,
feet, it's just like they're blurring out everything except for like
Everything
from
but your
the
feet.
calves down. Yeah,
Yeah.
just the
Argyle, what's
calves
it like
down
being able
view.
to feel Steve's hammer?
Oh my gosh. I was
He
like,
can talk now, and it's just on him.
Argyle can feel way too much now with me.
He's like,
You've
why are they so tight?
you've given me the chance to speak, and with my final voice, I will wish for death. Um,
Steve, what is that? A python up there with you?
I thought you wielded a battle axe. That feels a lot like a great hammer.
As
Oh boy.
you ride up in a
I'm sorry, Brittany. I apologize for all of this.
as as this train does not stop its way all the way to the Gith or to the Mechanist Temple, the Temple of Mechanist. You start to see a temple that has not been left to time. It is a clockwork temple that when you get to it, you see that in its full working order without holes in the roofs and the walls, it's almost an ornate, beautiful cogwork wheels just moving around. The walls are cogwheels that are moving around. The front door area are cogwheels that are moving around. And as you see, it goes up to cogwheels that are moving horizontally, vertically. All of them are interlocked in different ways, mechanically building this 6-story temple as you go in. And as you walk up to like what would be the front door of this temple area, you see that there are like gears on the front door, there are gears on the sides of the door, and you see a keyhole, but it seems like as you are now back on land per se, there are no like windows or anything like that. As you are back on land, you see like what would be the front door area and what would be kind of the only door you see in or out, which is a building code hazard for any workers in there, by the way. But since they're all like mod drones and duo drones and all that, it's not necessarily no one's blowing a whistle. Um, you get to this front door that seems locked and closed mechanically. Like it has interlocking gears on it that are locked with the walls around it.
Well, can I take out my thieves' tools and pick the lock?
Go for it.
As you say that, I'm going to shout, I think that's a great idea!
As
That's all I can do is shout.
that, give me a
Just
thieves' tools.
echoes. Just echoes in the canyon.
Oh yeah, as it bounces off all of these gears that are turning silently and perfectly.
Oh,
Wow. As it clicks, all of a sudden, it opens a door that is about 10 feet tall and about 10 feet wide. That you see all of these gears start turning and popping as this door and gears are almost interlaced as one as they move to the sides and spread open. And you look upon a floor that is a large empty hall leading to probably about 100 feet in front of you is an empty hall, and you see that there are 2 to 3 different floors at the end of this 100 feet that seem to be sprawling of what would be a large assembly line going in different ways, like diagonal, forward, back. You see the assembly lines move up, out, and you see little like arms on them and little legs on them. They're like 1 foot legs on these assembly lines moving through, and on these assembly lines working, you see what would be modrones, which again to describe what they look like. Um, they are like boxes. Picture like a box that has 2 legs coming down, like thin little legs coming out, metallic legs, a metallic eye in the center. Out of this box comes 2 metallic arms, and they have 2 tiny little wings that are antenna that come out of the top of their head. Um, and as they are all flying around this place, all of a sudden you hear, Steve, what did you yell before when you were at the
Uh,
front door?
I don't remember what
great
I
idea.
think that's a
I
great
think it's a
idea.
great idea. You hear echoing
Yeah.
back through these halls in a recording on a recording back. I think that's a great idea. I think that's a great idea. I think that's a great idea. I think that's as they are
Perfect.
now Throughout all of their bodies, you hear this echoing sound as they are repeating, but they do not break in what they are doing. They are just zooming and zipping around on these assembly lines. It seems like these monodrones are building monodrones.
Excellent.
Fair enough.
Hey.
Well, first thing I'm gonna do is make sure I am firmly on the ground before I start walking into that area, so my wings don't disappear. And before we get all the way through, I'm gonna look at Argyle and say, "You may wish for death, but we are so doing this again," and hit him with the finger guns.
And he looks back at you and says again, with my last words, I would hope you would take pity on my soul and kill me.
I'm gonna hop off, like, and there's way too much flexing going on, unnecessary flexing of these muscles going on as I get off. And I'm gonna head further into this temple, like kind of with a confidence born in nothing swagger.
Very nice. And Zari, where are you at in this mix? As we've got Steve walking in with Brogan, and where's your placement?
Again, I will be behind them trying to hide because he just shouted out. That's a great idea. So I'm assuming something's going to happen in the next 5 minutes.
Oh
Sure.
yeah, all stealth is screwed, so we might as well go in there full swag, no fear.
That's right. In tidy
Awesome.
whities.
So go give me a stealth because you're gonna see pillars that line the first 100 feet or 100 what is it, the 100 feet of open area before you start hitting the multiple tiers of assembly lines. Yeah, you're able to get behind a pillar and hide. As they are, and you are able to definitely get behind a pillar and hide. And with that crit stealth, I'm even going to let that crit stealth run to the point where you will have that until you take your any action. You will be able to hide behind anything you want anywhere. We're not going to ask you to roll it again with the crit.
As 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 Broken is stealthing, he's quietly whispering to himself, "Sneak, sneak, 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 sneak."
But Zari,
And like
as
you guys
you're
can hear me, but everyone else is like, "Wow, he has
yeah,
just vanished." Sneak,
Zari, you're
sneak,
not
sneak.
hidden well because you're just hearing Brogan say sneak, sneak, and you're yelling, "What did you say? What was that, Brogan?" As all of a sudden you hear a repeating back in a what would be a silent, it's almost silent, completely silent assembly line process that's going in multiple angles. You're able to hear come back, "What's that, Brogan? What's that, Brogan?" As they start repeating back. But they don't break the from the assembly line. And the one who wanted to stealth the most, Zari, is not going to be stealthed.
Makes sense.
I'm gonna hide behind the two big guys. Two big guys vanish into the shadows. And it's
Yeah.
just sorry.
All you've got left of Steve is a faint whiff of baby oil. That's it. You can't see
Yeah.
anything.
Zari
Maybe
slips on the
can I
floor
get
and makes
you
a
to hide
thud.
behind you too? And then puffs of smoke, and she's just.
As you walk in, you see up above you, there are stairs leading up to different, well, it's more like ramps, not stairs. As these ramps lead up to different levels and tiers of assembly, like on the bottom floor is where you see all of the boxes where they're all assembled. And it seems like they start at the top with just, if you look up a couple of floors, they start at the top with just like arms and legs. And once you get to the bottom, it's a fully assembled monodrone, and they're all going off into like a shipping container kind of a thing where they get sealed into the next one. And they're not being activated yet, but you can see probably about 80 monodrones in this whole place just from your sight that you've seen buzzing around on the assembly lines.
Can I
Brogan,
go up to one of the boxes since I know I'm not stealth and like actually investigate on the drone?
The boxes on the assembly line.
Um. Well, you said, are they on the assembly line or like on the floor?
There's like a storage area off to the side that they are putting the finished products in, like finished monodrones that are not activated.
Um, I'll go off to the storage area and find a mono drone to look at.
Very
Pretty
nice.
sure there's one off to the side somewhere
Give an investigation. Yeah.
that they're going to rebuild.
It's 7. You don't pick up much. It looks like a mechanic. You're banging on it. It's like a mechanical box. It's like just it's got an eye that's closed in the center. It's like it's not activated. It's not on. It's not doing anything. But
Can I take a look at it?
yeah, if you'd like, as you sneak over, and she doesn't even see you come up on the side, like.
While he's
no,
doing
I will
that,
see.
while
I will
he's
see
doing that,
Steve with my
I-
passive.
I try to
The only
sneak
one
up.
I don't know who is here is Morgan. That's it.
I try to sneak up behind Zari and I go, sneak, sneak, sneak. Don't worry. I'll steal us one of these underpants gnomes before we leave.
Let me take a look at this box.
Give her
And
investigation.
then as Steve's looking at it, I'm gonna sneak, 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 and just pit her away.
A12. These modrones are just from what you're picking up with a 12, you've got a little more like you've got a mechanical knowledge from like fixing a water heater kind of knowledge.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
A terrible DIY job that I watched a YouTube video for.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of where you use electrical tape is thread tape, kind of an idea.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I put this lawnmower back together and it grows grass. I suck at this.
Wow, what a lawnmower.
It only mows the grass. It won't touch weeds.
Yeah, it only mows the grass. It won't touch. That's hilarious. So with a 12, you're finding that this is an assembly facility. So that with a 12, it's a storage container of monodrones that are not activated. You see that there are about 100 other storage containers that are not that are of the same size and shape that probably have about 100 monodrones inside of it.
Is my spell wore off where I'm gonna shout everything?
Yeah, it would have worn off.
All right, I'm gonna say, hey, sneak, sneak, get over here. I need your help with this.
You can't see me. I'm sneaking.
Hey, but I know you're in the room.
So you say it loud enough so I can hear you, and then all of a sudden behind you while you're looking at stuff, hey, sneak, come here. Sneak. I'm right here, buddy. Sneak.
You see my ample butt cheeks visibly flex as you get closer.
All I can smell is cologne and sex musk, and I don't know how you were stealthing at all. I can smell that a mile away.
I'm going to ask him to help me investigate this with an assist. Or do you have a better investigation than I do?
That's
Since you'd like to.
No.
You can give it a try, Brogan.
And I'll help him because I have
and you can help him out.
Rudimentary knowledge.
Oh, there it is.
Oh my gosh. You can tell that Steve is smuggling hams back there. That's about it. Like it's not like there's nothing really.
That is an aggressive shuffle you got going on with cheeks like that clapping. There's no wonder you're not stealthy.
Yeah.
You take so long in your investigation to find nothing that you look over and Steve has started using a random piece of machinery just to do pull-ups. Like he's getting his pump on now in the middle of this factory.
Sneak.
Yeah, and Brogan immediately goes, yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can say to that except getting into the shadows quietly.
Yeah. Just backing away, I'm like, oh, he's so manly.
It's so gross. I don't even know how, Steve, you're able to do the pull-ups with that amount of baby oil. It's like it's just off every time.
Pure will.
Yeah. You're almost having to alter the world around you to do these pull-ups because you've got so much baby oil on.
There's so much baby oil.
Yeah, it seems like one thing you guys are kind of picking up, like this is an extra storage of monodrones that possibly is I mean, with your investigations, you don't really none of it really comes out clear to you. Steve, you're picking up on maybe the idea like if 1 or 2 dies, they just take 1 or 2 out of a storage container. And if 10 were to die, 10 would come out of a storage container, or you know what I mean? Like it seems like they have a fixed number of things going on, and it keeps order per se. That there is always an order to things. There is enough backup. There is enough.
I'm gonna lean over to Zari and say, "What were we supposed to find here?" I wasn't really paying attention. I was looking at feet when he was explaining it to us.
I know you were looking at feet. Feet man. We've learned that.
Anyway, what were we looking for?
A creation stone. How big is the monodrone?
The monodrone, its body is about a 1.5 foot by 1.5 foot box. Where if you were to like stretch to its arms and its legs, it would probably be about a 3 by 3 space it would take up.
I'm going to look at this monodrone and try to find its power source.
Wind up its power source.
Take out its power source.
Okay, you can definitely do so. And so you see that it's in a crate with like almost 100 others. It's in an open crate that they're like, they're still sending products into off the assembly line. Yeah. And as you look, you can
I'll
pull
put
out.
that monodrone in my bag once I take out its power.
Give me a stealth give me a sleight of hand on pulling this power source out. An 11. You are able to pull it out, but it makes a large clanking sound. And as it makes a large clanking sound, you hear the assembly lines stop. You see all 80 monodrones as you look behind over your shoulder, or at least give me a perception check. Sorry.
Nothing.
A
Why?
5. You don't know. You just hear that you hear
Our rolls are so bad.
You see that the assembly line stops. That's really it. But what Brogan would see and what Nick would see, as they're stealthing around, not focusing on something, they would see that all 80 monodrones stop what they're doing and now look over to the area that Zari is in.
I'm gonna look at Brogan. I'm gonna say, she's done for. Let's find this stone and get out of here.
I will nod my head and just say, sneak, sneak, sneak. And then I will put my claws up like a little T-Rex, and you'll see my little. I'll be tiptoeing on my talons up the stairs.
Very nice. And as you're hitting the second floor, you're getting up the second floor. Zari, you're able to pull this power source out. What do you do with this power source?
Honestly, just want to put the monodrone in the bag, and I didn't want it to activate while it was in my bag. That was it. That was all I wanted to do.
You can now put the monodrone in your bag if you want. Yeah.
You're gonna kidnap one of these children in front of the children?
Yeah.
Go for it. Yeah, you put the monodrone in your bag. You have the power source separate, and it is now in your bag of holding.
Yep.
Very nice. And you now have yourself a monodrone. And as you turn around, you look and you see that there are now 80 monodrones all staring at you, starting to move in your direction. Brogan and Steve, you now see this too, as 6 floors of monodrones on different like conveyor belts and stairs all start very slowly. We're talking like probably 30 feet, or we're talking like 60 feet, maybe a minute, start moving down these conveyor belts, down these stairs, coming down towards Zari.
I'm gonna wish for Zari to be invisible. Use chaos magic.
Go give me a D100.
Oh, I'm sorry, Zari, if this doesn't work out.
Please let it work.
Oh!
Oh, it's 100!
100!
And Zari all of a sudden just blinks out of existence into invisibility. And as she blinks into invisibility, let me just double check something real quick.
Steve, you may have failed every roll this week.
Every roll tonight, but that was
you came through in the clutch. On the 1% chance that Zari lives, he's like, I got you.
Okay.
I'm gonna use up my baby power oils.
So it works out perfectly. But they don't stop moving toward her, and now she's invisible. Okay. You guys can't see her, and they're all moving towards her still. Give me a insight.
Oh, great! They can see
everybody
invisibility.
Gotcha.
Everyone, yeah, for what you're seeing. Steve, Zari, and Brogan. Brogan and Steve figure out they have true sight.
Well, I see they're still coming toward me. I take the monodrone back out and I put the power source back in.
And you put it back inside the container?
Put it back inside the monodrone, put everything back
the way it was. And immediately as you fix it the way it was, all of a sudden they all stop moving towards you. Immediately start slowly in unison turning back towards where they were and slowly start moving back towards their stations.
Kids, this is the difference between cover and concealment. as as all the mono drones are going back, since I totally just thought Zari was invisible, I'm still whispering sneak to myself and going up the stairs. I'm gonna get to the top of this thing.
Very nice. And as you get to the second floor, you see that there's a level of monodrones in front of you. Behind the monodrones are what are called duodrones, which are two boxes stacked on top of each other with two eyes instead of one. They have four arms, four legs, and four wings coming out of the top of their head. And these duo drones are in the back area making duo drones on the second floor. And these duo drones, you see the conveyor belts are all going into containers on the far right of the second floor that are just building and stocking duo drones. In the front of it is part of the mono drone conveyors, and in the back you see duo drone conveyors. Um, and Steve, you would see the same thing as you're going up. And Zari, do you start moving up the stairs also, or up the ramps?
Yeah, I'll try to do it sneakily, but they've seen me, so who
Yeah, they
knows?
all see you, but they're not attacking at you or doing anything. It seems like as long as you're not, what you're picking up is, as long as you're not messing with anything that's theirs, they don't, you know what I mean? You might as well be a fly on the wall kind of an idea. As you guys are moving up these stairs to the third floor, you see tri-drones, which have six legs, six arms. It looks like their bodies are about 3 feet wide and tall, and it looks like three shields stacked up against each other, each of them having an eye on each one with antenna coming out the top. And they are building tri drones in the back and stocking containers. And once you get to the fourth floor, you see quadrones.
I realize I need to start saying sneak an additional time because we're on the fourth floor, so I add a additional sneak while creeping along.
It's sneak, 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 sneak now. As you get to the fifth floor, you see pentadrones and they are building pentadrones. And you see that there are monodrones moving around still. There are conveyor belts that are building monodrones where they start. But you see that all of these are building in different ways. And you see that this is a lot more complex of a system with cogs and everything moving around. And you see even the floors you're on seem to be cogwheels that are moving slowly and slightly as you're walking up. And as you get to the sixth floor, you see what would be cogwheels and like different springs and things along that nature, almost like steampunk steam areas towards the back with like almost like the top of steam organs kind of thing, shooting out steam as you can kind of see this whole temple is one machine that is turning out monodrones, duodrones, pentadrones, quadrones. And as you look towards about 150 yards in front of you, down this long, wide room of just the walls are lined with cogs and um, steel pipes that are putting out steam. You see towards the back what would be a 1 foot by 1 foot egg shaped stone glowing in the wall about 10 feet up. And as it's glowing in the wall about 10 feet up, it has a whole bunch of plugs that are coming through wires into a bracket that is surrounding it in place in the wall.
Well, every good detective knows this is a classic Indiana Jones flick. So I know that as soon as I grab that stone, I'm gonna run past my party members at top speed and hope we all make it out. And with confidence, this will be a success.
I love it. Um, you see it, and you're sneaking. Steve, you don't know where Brogan is because he's being that sneaky. None of you see Zari.
Yeah.
Argyle, Steve, do you have Argyle with you?
I left him out front.
Okay.
He seemed not to be interested in having my baby oil ridden ass ride on him. So
No, he's really
Oh,
not.
plus the hammer.
He says keep your beans off his back. That's how he feels
that's,
about it.
that's fair.
Um, so as you get up and you see on this floor, Zari, you would see this too, and it's almost like this long triangular room coming to that final point where the stone is right in the middle of the back of the room, 10 feet up, with everything leading into it.
Um, Question: was there like a garbage chute of if something was broken or out of order that we would have seen?
Um, it give me an investigation. A 16. Um, as you're going through, you see that there's not necessarily any garbage chute. It seems like any possible waste, quote unquote, would be recycled back into making monodrone. This is a zero waste facility. It's complete order. There is no waste, no problems, no nothing.
Yeah, I've
100%
never heard of
order.
monodrone. Okay. I have no ideas on how to steal that egg.
Well, as you're thinking that, I'm pretty much at the egg because I've been a floor ahead this whole time. Now I know I'm only 6 feet tall, but or 6.5. Are the wings I had, are they still working in here, or is
Yeah,
this an
yeah.
order
If you will
one?
yourself, you're gonna move up. Yeah.
I'm gonna, while sneaking, will myself up to this thing and look at it.
And as
And
you
by look
look
at
at
it, I
it,
mean like investigate it, like try to figure out if it's like booby trapped or whatever to grab it.
give me a Constitution saving throw and an investigation. Because as you're staring into perfect order and roll a 4.
Oh, whoops, that the second one is.
Dang.
I'm bad at both of those. I'm bad at
Yeah.
everything.
So immediately, you don't do a good investigation immediately. I was gonna give you disadvantage on the investigation because if you didn't get over a 10 on your Constitution save, because you're locked in a perfect stare at perfect order. You're now staring at a piece of creation that knows exactly the where every piece of every puzzle goes. It's almost like you're looking into it and it's getting into a whiter and whiter light where there's only perfection that you're seeing right now. This is something that may even get you to quit drinking, but I doubt it. Like it's one of those things where you are locked in a stare and you are charmed by it. You're almost, I would say, in a paralysis effect from your Constitution saving throw.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, as you're just staring at it, locked in a gaze. And this is what Steve and Zari would now see, that you are locked in a gaze with this stone.
Go up to Brogan and I just kind of pat him on the cheek, seeing if he reacts.
Um, he's not
Oh,
necessarily
well,
gonna have much
more on the
reaction.
thigh because I'm floating 10 feet up to look at this thing, so it's probably more on the thigh. But
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
it's more of like a bob.
Rachel.
Yeah. As Zari, if you do go to pull him down, from where he is at, it will break his gaze, and you will come out of it, Brogan, not remembering that you just stared at it.
Okay, I jump up, grab onto his leg because Zari's really short.
Zari, what do you weigh?
What does Zari
Try
weigh?
to pull. I could just climb up onto him.
Yeah, but what does
Look.
Zari weigh?
20, 45, around that
145.
range.
All right.
Saw
Brogan
her armor,
sinks
yeah,
down a little bit.
145.
I mean, it's not nothing. Brogan sinks down a little bit
Yeah.
because I'm not actively pulling against her either
No.
because I'm locked in the trance.
It's yeah, picture like floating in space kind of an idea as you're locked in this trance and you're going to come out of it but not remembering what you saw or anything like it. It was like staring into creation in a sense.
So as she pulls me down, I'm whispering, "Sneak, sneak, sneak." Because I still think I'm being sneaky because I don't remember any of it.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Zari, how did you find me? Or actually, I don't even see Zari because
You don't
she's
even see
invisible.
her. Yeah.
Instead, I look down and I'm like, my right leg is very heavy. Oh
Yeah.
no, it's the creepy feet people. What did they do? Why is one of my legs heavy? I don't like this. Steve, come here. Steve, quick.
As soon as he starts yelling, I run over. What?
As-
What?
My
Well,
my
as he
right
starts
leg is
yelling, I start climbing up him.
my right leg is really heavy. Did the creepy feet people do anything to your feet?
I don't know. Let me look at it. I'm going to start looking at his back and investigating.
Give an investigation.
I start climbing up his body.
You start to see that there are now like footprints on his jacket as they're moving up his body. Like you start to
You're
see
being attacked by
imprints.
spectral feet, and I punch.
You punch, give me a unarmed strike. Roll me a d20 plus your strength mod.
At least he's not the
D20.
monk.
Yeah,
It's true. D20 plus
Strength.
3. Yeah.
I'm invisible, so
11,
this is
12, 13, 14. Zari, what's your AC?
14, but since I'm invisible, isn't it at
It should be a
disadvantage?
disadvantage. So roll me one more d20.
Watch, it'll be a 20. Oh, okay,
So
see.
you completely miss. As you miss, you slap into Brogan's back.
And some baby oil whips off my arm
Yeah.
and splashes.
Attacking me.
You hear her yell, "Stop smacking me!" As she
Oh,
slides
I thought it
back.
was spectral feet.
Sorry. I could tell by her voice. I'm like, sorry, you literally could have spoke up like 12 seconds ago. When I said the
And
feet
honestly,
thing.
it's honestly a little creepy that you're just climbing on people without asking.
I'm too short, and he was stuck in a trance. Okay,
You're
trying to see what he saw.
You're starting to sound an awful lot like the creepy feet people.
We warned you not to take your boots off in front of him, and if you did it, him being in a trance is your own fault.
I was staring at the zone, and you guys can't see me, so that's not my fault.
So, is he the only one entranced by the stone then?
Well, I'm not
Well,
entranced
none of
anymore.
you are necessarily at a height. Like it would have to be getting close to it and looking into it that would possibly do it.
I'm gonna whistle. Can I whistle for Argyle?
Give me an animal handling to see if you can whistle for Argyle.
All right,
Beat a 12. That's all you
no
gotta
whammies.
Oh my
Wow.
dude!
All of a
This is the
sudden,
best
you hear
trained horse
Sean
that ever
Connery's
horse.
voice cursing in the distance at a very faint tone. And as it gets closer, it gets louder and louder, and you hear like, "Son of a bitch, I hate this. Fuck this guy. I want to kill him. I hate that. What's going on? I don't like my life anymore. The mage I thought he was bad, and now he's dead, and he was good. He was good. Now I've got this guy who's
middle-aged white nut sitting on.
Yeah, he won't wear clothing apparently.
Just got cock and balls on me constantly.
I'm pretty sure before his spell went off, he was like, "Yeah, I skid marked."
And he looks over, and you hear the last thing he says. He's like, "I'm living in fucking van art." What, Steve? What do you want from me?
Hey, grab that stone, would you?
This is going to end so bad.
As
Limbo just explodes.
He walks through the air slowly. He's like, "All right, I guess fucking I'm living on the side of a van," and goes up, and he goes and looks, and he's got his hooves, and you see he starts to go touch with his hooves, and he's now like upright, I guess, 90-degree with hooves out as he's trying to grab a 1 foot by 1 foot stone, I think. And you see he's now staring at it, completely in awe, like he's gone paralyzed in a sense.
All right, I'm gonna like walk over to where he is, careful not to look at the stone, and I'm gonna cover his little horsey eyes. I'm gonna say, "Just put it in your mouth, Steve. Put it in your mouth."
And it's like, "What? I gotta go to the stone."
Yeah, you're at the stone. Feel the stone with your mouth, and I'm gonna like guide his head to the stone so that he can get it in his mouth.
Guide his head to the stone. He's like, "Oh my god! Ow! 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 Ow!" You hear him just like, "That's too much! Too much! Now, not in the back! Like, don't hold there!" As you hear he's yelling, and he's like, "That really hurts! Oh, not and you all of a sudden see from above your head as he's making these noises. Do you go to pull back?
Yeah, for sure.
You go to pull back, and you see what would be sparks and lightning shoot out. And as the sparks and lightning start to shoot out from this area, it goes psh, 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 off to the sides. You see all like 8 different lines of power that were going into this coupling that was surrounding this in the wall. Now all of a sudden shoot out fire and sparks, and you start to see these wires start to just shoot around real quick. I'm going to have to roll a dexterity saving throw for the horse.
He's
15.
so
he makes a dexterity saving throw, only taking
The horse.
8. He takes 4 lightning damage as it slaps into him, and takes 4 lightning damage. As you
Does this
feel
whole
a little
place
bit of,
just shut down?
Like, yeah, it tingles, and all of a sudden, everything in the place goes silent as you hear everything power down. It goes, and you hear the little feet on the ground of hundreds and hundreds of monodrones, duodrones, tridrones, and quadrones, and pentadrones all walking up to the 6th floor of the
But they're
temple.
walking.
Jig is up. I unwrap.
So I slam more powder into Steve's nose, hop on his back, and say, "Run for the ship!"
And Brogan, as he's yelling, "Steve, run!" as he drugs the horse some more.
Well, since the horse doesn't have the stone, I take my pimp coat and I throw it up above me to kind of like pull it down, and I use the coat as like cover to not zap me, and I go to just grab the thing like a football.
I thought he's got it in his mouth.
He has it in his mouth, yeah.
Yeah,
I
he's
thought
got
you said it was
some.
zapping him, so
It
he'd
was,
let
but
go.
I
Yeah,
forced him
the
through
wall
it.
had wires that came off and it ended up slapping at him.
Oh well, as long as he's got it, yeah. I'm a monk with step of the wind. I'm like, I'll race you, Argyle. You get out first.
Azar's just hanging on for dear life
Onto
on
the
the
horse?
side of you.
As
No,
you're
on the
holding,
back. He's on the back of Brogan.
No, she's still hanging on to me.
oh, so she's hanging on to Brogan. Brogan, you're trying to race Argyle. Argyle is now drugged again. I gotta give a Constitution save, see how his heart's gonna do. I mean, he's
gonna do great. He's a horse.
18,
Not
he's doing
Sean
fine.
Connery.
18, he's doing fine. As he makes it through, you guys make it to the edge of the 2nd floor, and as you look down at a 60-foot drop in front of you, down to the 10-foot door, you see now that all of the monodrone, duodrone, tridrone, quadrone, and pentadrone storage facility areas are now opening their doors. And all of those drones that were in storage, the hundreds upon hundreds of possible thousands of drones, are now
Okay.
activated and are all
Sweet.
leaving their storage facility and moving towards the front entrance. And as you look down from the 6th floor, seeing this below you, and seeing this place fill with drones that are coming up to your position through different ramps, that is where we end our session today.
Nice. with a drugged up horse and a bodybuilder on top of it.
Dude,
Yeah.
Voltron's coming. I'm telling you.
Yeah, we're fighting Optimus Prime next week.
Actually,
like, what happened?
Funny enough, Primus is the name of the leader of the drones, of Mechanus per se, the god of Mechanus.
You know how Primus came into being, right? Chuck Norris took Tinkle and something, and then Primus came into life. So
That's awesome. Well, I would like to thank our cast today for everything that they contributed. Truly funny, awesome, and talented individuals. So I'm going to give you guys a hand, and hopefully you guys give yourselves a hand because you rocked it. Thank you all. I would like to thank all of our viewers, listeners. Like, follow, subscribe. Hit us up on YouTube to check out the video and the VOD of the Twitch stream, and then hit us up on Spotify also. Please comment in the comment section to give us suggestions and stuff you're interested in. Hit us up on our Discord that's listed in the Twitch, and we're just happy to have you and to be able to do this on Tuesday nights for you guys and for us because it's freaking awesome. Again, thank the players. I want to give a shout out to Steven, who had some great suggestions. One of our loyal viewers, listens on Spotify once a week. So it's been great to chat with him about it. I just wanted to give you a shout out, man. Anything you guys want to shout out or have a plug or anything like that before we exit for the night?
Yeah, just as always, thanks for listening, guys. We really hope you're enjoying it. If you've got any suggestions, comments, whatever, let us know. We'd love to hear from you.
Cheers.
I think the only thing I'd like to plug is that if I had a bald spot, because I have red hair with my mustache, I kind of look like Steve. So don't think I didn't notice, Nick, that this was a personal attack. I'm coming for you on my next character.
100%. And anything, Brittany, you're up. You want to plug or have anything to say? Awesome. All right.
You can subscribe.
Have a good week, everybody.
Well, have a good week, and thank you all for everything. Enjoy your night. Have a good week, and check us out. And thank you.